someone at the time our um, uh, front person, and obviously they are not understood that, so it's not a good conversation, right? So first we are understood our opposite person, they are understandable or not, then we are used to understand. Like sometimes we are used many types of vivid words in our speaking, right? But our opposite person, they are not understandable, so in the other reason they are not understood that. So why we are used on that? But sometimes we are used because it's our practice, right? Every day when we are practicing English language, when we are collected so many advanced words, so at that time we are used on that, but it's not a good thing. So obviously we are, when we are understood our opposite person, they are not understandable, so at that time we are used fancy words in a fancy manner, right? Simple words in a fancy manner, not fancy words in a fancy manner. It's simple words in a fancy manner. It's important. And as well as obviously when we are utilizing our opposite person, they are not habituated for first speaking, so at the time we are pacified in our speed, right? Because it's important. I speaking to you and all, I speaking very fastly and you are do not understood that, so why it's not a good conversation, right? Yeah, actually,
Yeah,
my
you're
native language and my mother tongue is Bengali. And all the time, my husband told me, "You are speaking very fast." I don't know why, but it's my problem. It's my problem. I'm not pacifying my pace or anything, but yeah, I will try my level best. And
yeah,
nowadays, when I'm speaking to someone, yeah, I
yeah, but
um,
you are doing great job. But before some days, like you said, 1 month, I tried to connect. I tried to connect, but I didn't work. So today I got chance to talk to you. So I'm over the moon right now, just because I'm talking to you, and it's good for me, just because I'm learning some new things, just because of you right now.
so
So
what
tell
do
me,
you
ma'am, my second question is, tell me, uh,
hmm.
if like who the beginner, like he has started her or him his English almost initial time. So what do you thinking? Grammar is most important thing or not? Like grammar, he should learn or not?
Actually, simple grammar, it's required, right? Because when we are conversing to someone at the time, we have no sense to past or present or future. So it's not a very good conversation actually. So at that time, it's important. Simple grammar, like simple present, simple past, simple future, it's important. Sometimes past perfect, it's required, but all the time grammar is not important because it's a spoken English, right? And when we are speaking to our mother tongue, like my mother tongue is Bengali, your mother tongue is Hindi. So at that time, you are used on that. So we are making so many mistakes, right? When we are speaking to our mother tongue. So when we are speaking to someone and it's spoken English, so sometimes some mistakes, it's okay. But obviously, when we are focused on our writing part, so grammar is too much important. We are used many types of complicated grammar or anything, but when we're conversing to someone at the time, it's not an important. And when we are focused on our grammar, but our mind is stuck, right? We are not focused on our fluency at that time. So first, when we are speaking to someone at the time, we are focused on our fluency, and it's our long-term goal. And when we are completed in our long-term goal, our short-term goals is automatically completed, like grammar part, vocabulary part, everything, right? But as a beginner, when you have started on your journey in this language, so obviously at that time you are focused on your simple grammar, like simple tense, and sometimes article prepositions, sometimes active voice, passive voice. That's enough.
Yeah, you
It's
are
my
absolutely
opinion. It's my
right.
opinion. Sorry for that, but it's my opinion. Yeah.
Yeah, you are absolutely right. You are doing, you are speaking truth. And whenever I try to speak like slowly, that time, my mind goes blank and I get stuck. I don't know what happened that time. Whenever I try to speak like a little bit fast, that time I speak very well. Now you can say. So yeah.
No.
So you were asking me before few minutes. You were asking me something.
Yeah. So, how long have you been here? You are mentioned the 8 months, right? So, first day when you have embarked on my journey in this language, and now, what are the change you are followed or anything?
Oh my
Sometimes
God.
you
Yeah, just you can say. And before 8 months, you can say I was not able to learn English language. You can say I was not able to speak just because you can say before that, just I was reading English books or English, Hindi, both books, But when I came to know just like on this group, when I came, came to know that time I got surprised. Oh my God, I can learn easily because I had a friend that time. He speaks very well English language. So he told me if you want to learn this language, so you can install this app. So that day I installed this app, and when I met my first conversation, that time I was like very nervous. That time so I was not able to speak my given single words like how are you that time you can I got stuck that time. So, oh my God, that I realized that I should learn English language. Like you can say grammar person. You can say I was very weak, that time. But nowadays I'm just focusing my grammar as well. And just because you can say sometimes I make mistake while having conversation. Right now, maybe I'm making mistake. I know. So I think it doesn't happen for me.
Yeah, it's allowed. Obviously, it's allowed because we are not a foreigner. And so in that
Yeah.
the reason many public speaker, many native speaker, they make mistakes, right? Actually, we making some types of mistakes, so it's not our problem. Problem we are not accept that, right? So in that the reason we are facing many problems and difficulties. Sometimes we are fumbling, stammering, everything's happened. But yeah, when we are speaking to someone, so here and there sometimes some mistakes is allowed. But when you are writing something, it's not allowed, right? Because it's really important. And when we are focused on our creation part, like speaking and writing, so it's important because when we are speaking to someone, we are learning something new. And when we are writing something, so obviously when at the time our mind is working too much fast and hand is working too much slow. So at the time we are used to many types of vivid words, and sometimes we are used to many complicated grammar in our writing. And when we are speaking to someone, we are followed their speaking styling, their teaching styling, their hand gesture, body languages, everything we are followed, right? So at that time we are learning so many things, and when we are conversing to another one, we are implementing that. And in that the process, day-to-day conversation, we are learning in this language, right? So obviously practice is an important, consistency is an important, because when we are maintaining consistency, and every day when we are speaking to someone, when we are writing something, when we are reading something, so we are grabbing this language very easily. Otherwise we are demotivated.
But you are speaking very little bit fast, right now. I
Yeah.
can say. Yeah, just
I,
because you can say you are habitual to speak nowadays
actually,
like
I'm
this.
too much excited for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and nowadays I'm too much comfortable with in this language. And sometimes when my husband, he or my son and my in-laws, they are speaking with me, and it's our mother tongue. So at that time, I'm too much comfortable with in this language rather than my native language. I don't know why, but all the time I put in deliberate effort in this language. So in that the reason I'm here, and I'm too much comfortable, and it's of my bit of process sometimes, right? Yeah.
You are absolutely right, ma'am. You are absolutely right. So, ma'am, you are running YouTube channel. Just you are focusing your language.
No, actually, I opened on my channel and I will upload. So in that the reason I recording of this session.
Great.
Yeah.
I think your channel is growing nowadays. Just because your